right, thank you guys for joining today. Maybe to start this off, if we could get some introductions going. Ilona, if you want to start us off.
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. My name is Alana Braverman, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at the nonprofit Greener by Default.
Great. Pyle.
Hi, my name is Payal Shah, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Good for Earth, and just excited to be here.
Yeah, and to finish off, I'm Jack Mittermeier. I am the partnership lead here at Good for Earth, and I facilitate these sort of conversations and get us all together. First of all, Alana, can you kind of tell me about what Greener by Default is and how it got started?
Yeah, so Greener by Default works with institutions and corporations to help make plant-based meals and drinks, so all plant-based options, the default, where giving diners the choice to opt into animal products instead. So as you can picture, like a normal, conference where you would have to check a box to say, I request a vegan or vegetarian meal. We're kind of just flipping that norm on its head and saying, we're going to serve the most sustainable and inclusive option for everybody while still maintaining freedom of choice for diners and giving people the option to opt in for animal proteins if they would like in order to make everybody happy. This got started a few years back as an initiative of the Better Food Foundation, but due to our big successes last year with both LinkedIn and New York City Health and Hospitals, as well as some large sustainability conferences, we've now launched as our own nonprofit at the beginning of 2023.
Great. That's exciting to hear. And Pyle, can you kind of tell me about what drew you to make this connection with Greener by Default?
Yeah, for sure. So this connection was actually made by my dear friend from UCLA. So that's number one. It goes without references, friends. I kind of trust them. And second thing, I am a big supporter of women founders as well. And on top of that, sustainability is near and dear to me. And food sustainability is a huge part of sustainability as well. So these are the reasons why it actually drew me to Greener by Default.
Great. And going back to you, Alana, can you kind of tell me about what it looks like when you're working with a company to make their food options a little more green and sustainable?
Yeah, great question. So I'll give you one of the examples where we worked last year with LinkedIn San Francisco office, and that's in the news, so anyone can check out the article about that. But we worked with them on two different fronts. The first was their dining hall menus. So they have a cafeteria where all employees can come and eat lunch every day. And we looked at their menus, and of the 8 entrees that they were serving, at the baseline, when we were looking at just what was business as usual, they were serving 5 entrees that contained meat each day and 3 entrees that were vegetarian or vegan. And so we worked with them over the course of 3 months, implementing different nudges and strategies to get them to flip that ratio. So at the end of that 3-month period, they were serving 5 dishes that were vegan or vegetarian and only 3 dishes containing meat. And so because of that, they were actually able to reduce the amount of meat consumed per person per day by about 50% by the end of that, which was really incredible. And then we also worked with their coffee bar to implement an oat milk default. So instead of, going and ordering a latte and the barista just assuming that you wanted dairy milk with that, now everything comes with oat milk as the default option, unless you specifically request a different type of milk. So you could say, I'd like a latte with almond milk, soy milk, dairy milk, and you'd still be able to get that. But it really shifts the consumption patterns when you make your default option the most inclusive plant-based option. And now they're seeing about a 50% reduction in the amount of dairy milk that they're using at their coffee bar due to this new measure as well. And because that went so successfully, we're currently actually working with all of the other LinkedIn offices in the US. So if you think about it that way, we do a menu analysis, then we work with the institution or corporation to make that change, whether that's developing a new template for their menus, testing pilot recipes, training their baristas, in order to get them really set up for success. Because it's one thing to say, change the ratio, it's another to do it successfully or implement a plant-based default. And there are, things that come up along the way. So we really are there to consult and work with them to help ensure that the implementation is successful and then help them calculate their carbon savings and amount of meat or dairy per person reduced by the end as well.
Awesome. That's super cool. One thing I know I've heard about you guys before is you worked with the New York City hospitals, and I thought that was a super cool story. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So that was another big project that we worked on last year. We were brought in to help with the implementation of helping New York City Health and Hospitals, all 11 public hospitals in the city, transition from a meat-based default menu to a plant-based default menu. So the way that this hospital system works is actually, I find really interesting. The patient coordinator goes into the room each day to ask the patient if they would like the special of the day. The patient can say yes or no. Then they're offered a second special of the day. And after that, they're offered a bunch of different options. It used to be that both of those daily specials contained meat as a general rule. They've now shifted it so that every single special each day, those first two specials that are offered for lunch are now completely whole foods plant-based. And so now a patient would have to say, they can say yes to either, and then they get a whole food plant-based meal. Or if they say no to both of those options, they're still offered a few options with animal products. And because of this change, they've seen an uptake of about 60% of patients now eating a whole foods plant-based meal for lunch each day. And they're rolling out that same program for dinner.
That's really cool. That's great to see. And Pyle, going back to you, what kind of excites you the most about this new partnership with Greener by Default?
So as you know, right, Good for Earth is focused on helping out small and mid-sized businesses to get on their sustainability journey. And to our customer, right, every organization sustainability means different, and they have different needs. They have different, goals, initiatives, budget. So I am really excited to kind of have this opportunity to have Greener by Default on our platform, where an organization, if they are looking to reduce their carbon footprint through food sustainability, then they have an option. We connect them with Greener by Default. And, to be honest, it's one of the low-hanging fruit, which it's not very difficult for them to get started on this option. So that is what I'm excited about, is also providing our customers, this value and option of flipping the norm, right? I love this fact where, we are trying to completely flip the norm, which is serve plant-based first, and then if you need additional options, and you have animal-based products. So that's what I'm really excited about.
And I just wanted to comment, I like that you brought up the point about having a goal, because our organization doesn't necessarily tell you to set a specific goal. But if your company or institution already has a goal that we want to reduce carbon emissions by this percent by this year, we want to serve less meat by this amount, or we want to serve less dairy, those types of things, having that goal is great, because then we can come in and say, okay, here are the strategies that we can help employ to help you meet this goal that you already have, which also helps with buy-in at the organization.
Awesome. And Alana, what if an organization is watching this and they want to get involved? How do they reach out? Do they just email you guys? Do they go on your website? Can you tell me about what that looks like?
Great question. Yes, you can email me at alana@greenerbydefault.org, info@greenerbydefault.org. Check out our website. All of our contact information is there. And you can just tell us, where you're working and trying to get Greener by Default employed, or where you're, studying, things like that, or hosting an upcoming conference and want to learn more about our strategies. And you can shoot us an email and we'll be back in touch with more information, and we can set up a call to talk further.
Great, thank you. Pyle, if you had any finishing thoughts or words?
No, I think this is such a great organization. I really hope everyone hears about this and kind of tries to switch the norm as how they're trying to do it. So thank you again, Alana, and thank you, Jack.
Thank you, guys.